Welcome everybody to a look at the second film in the Inside the Mind of Coffin Joe box set released by Arrow Video. So this one is from 1967, so 3 years after the first, and it is This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse. So quite a gruesome title there. This is the second film in a row now from this box set that has a really rather cool title. And yeah, this is significantly longer than the previous film as it clocks in at 110 minutes long. And yeah, Coffin Joe is still looking for the perfect woman to give birth to a son of his, and cleared of the past crimes in the previous film, keeps terrorizing the people in his small town with his iconoclast and sadistic practices. So, yeah, like a lot of sequels out there, this does have better production value than its predecessor, but this ultimately comes out a step below the first film due to its length, which I don't feel is wholly justified, and the fact that our lead character feels way more preachy this time around. Sorry, my cat is jiggling my setup. Yeah, the lead character feels way more preachy this time around, which in a film that is, nearly half an hour longer, does get quite tiresome at the end of the day. So yeah, but that said, a lot of the positives of the prior film still hold up with this film. While the violence is also amped up, the cinematography has been improved. There is a sequence involving hell, which is in colour, which is in stark contrast to the black and white cinematography for the rest of the film. I mean, that hell scene comes in about an hour and six into the film, so by that point you're well and truly used to the black and white cinematography. So when it switches to hell, then you get all this vivid colour, and it's really, really well done. And yeah, is a vivid and look at hell with devils with tridents poking people, people being put through a lot of violence, which obviously they're not going to die from, so it's something they're going to experience over and over again. I mean, one point some guy gets stabbed in the head with a spear, and he's still screaming after the fact because obviously he's never going to die again, as he already is dead. So yeah, and then you've also got plenty of people being whipped, and then there's limbs sticking out of walls. There's heads being sticking out of walls that are screaming their heads off, and yeah, it's just a really, really amazingly done sequence, quite frankly. While yeah, the cinematography is while overall it is also engrossing throughout. So yeah, not a massive step down over the previous film. It's only half a star down, so 4 out of 5, which is still a really rather good rating. And yeah, far better than I was expecting it to be. I was expecting quite a drop off in quality from the first film to the second film, but yeah, it is still overall good. And as a direct sequel to the first film, because it literally takes place mere moments after the end of the first film, it is really, really well done. So yeah, really cool ass title as well. Like I said, I like the poster artwork there that it's got going on. This is the disc, so it does share the disc with another film, which we'll get into in another video. So yeah, not seen that other one yet, but yeah, this, like the previous film, has a brand new 4K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative and 35mm into positive. We've also got original lossless mono audio, optional English subtitles, archive audio commentary for this film with the writer, director, and star, as well as filmmaker Paulo Doriti and film scholar Carlos Primati, again in Portuguese with English subtitles. And then in terms of this film, I'm trying to split them up between the two films that are on this disc. Then we've got Eccentric of Cinema, a new interview with author Stephen Thrower, examining the early life and influences of Jose Mujica Marins. Then you got On Tonight's Horror Show, a new video essay by film scholar Miranda Cochran, looking at the mythic figure of Coffin Joe within the canon of horror hosts. And then we've got an alternative ending for the second film on this disc, and theatrical trailers, which are all newly scanned from original 35mm negative. So, yeah, really, really good film. Quite frankly, all I know about the next film, the third in this box set, is that it's a what do you call it? Slipped my mind now. It's a triple story film, basically anthology film. That's it. It's an anthology film. So basically, Coffin Joe isn't in the films themselves. He's just the host of this anthology film, like like in Tales from the Crypt, or it's completely slipped my mind. One from the 90s, I think it was. But regardless, yeah, that's basically what the next film has in store for us. So whether or not they're gonna live up to other anthology films, because a lot of anthology films do tend to have at least 1 week story, or there are very few that actually have really consistent throughout. Creepshow being one of the main ones that I think is one of the more consistent anthology films. We'll have to see. But still, this second film is great. Just not quite as great as the first film. But at the end of the day, it's only really due to the extra length. I really think the director would have been better off having someone else take over the directing reins, because when you're a director and star and writer, then you have very few people to actually tell you, maybe you should rein it in, maybe you shouldn't do that, or maybe that should be a bit shorter, or maybe you shouldn't have another version of this kind of monologue in there. But yeah, when you basically in the three main roles for a film, you got no one to tell you no. And I think that's something that ultimately lets this down. If it had a different director or a different writer, I feel like this would have been a little bit better. But overall, still really, really good, and yeah, well worth watching. So if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.